Hey everybody, it's Rad. Today I'm going to be doing a sunset painting, and it's a two-part project. So the first part is a gradient, which means colors slowly going from one to the next. So I'm going to teach you this technique where I'm going to be placing paint on the canvas itself. And then I'm going to be using a flat brush like this to go back and forth. And notice where I'm holding it too. You want to hold it like this, you're grabbing it like that, you're not holding it like this. I find I have better control this way. And you're gonna go back and forth. You might wanna just sit there and practice this actually. And make sure you go over the side of the canvas. All right, so you could do this. And you wanna go slow because this project, when you have the two colors that are meeting in between, you're gonna find you're gonna wanna go slow on that part. So you might wanna practice this just going slow. Then, this is how you start. I'm gonna start, in this case, whoa, that was a lot, by putting yellow in the center. I'm using some golden acrylics. These are the fluid ones, fluid acrylics, which means they're not thick, they're already kind of watery-esque. All right, this is how I start. Now go slow. I'm gonna do this whole center section. Now, if you have a canvas that has sides, you're gonna have to paint the sides too, like this. Let me just take care of that now. Take some from here and put it on the sides. Okay, I did that pretty quickly because this is very fluid paint. So this part, I could go a little faster. It's when the two colors meet, it's when I'm gonna go really slow. All the way across, all the way across. Let me move this so I have space. See that? Now, I think I'm ready. I'm going to place white on one side so it just becomes a little bit lighter. Okay, now watch this. This area here gets lighter and it's a little streaky right now, but the more I do this, you could tell yourself, do this 10 times and it'll become lighter and smoother. If you think you need some more, as you can see, I have paper on the table because this could get messy. Okay, so I'm gonna go slower and not press so hard here. It's hard to see the big changes in this white, but you'll see it when I get to the magenta, which I think I'm ready for. And I could go back up there later on as well. This is where you're gonna see more dramatic contrast between one color and the next. Now, this is magenta, and it will turn into what color when it touches yellow? Do you know? Well, let's find out. So where am I? I'm here. I'm not gonna jump to the magenta because the color I have here is the color that's right there. The same tone, the same value. All right, here I go. I'm making my way down and I'm gonna get to that magenta. If I think I need more yellow, here's my chance to add just a little bit more. Let's see what color it becomes first. Well, at this point, it should be magenta, but as I go up now, I'm gonna start going this way. It's gonna turn into what? Can you already see it? You guessed it, it's turned into orange. Smooth, this is the part where it's supposed to be blending. I actually have a lot of paint in here, so I'm going to start this section right here again. Okay. And this part, smooth transition. It's a little streaky, but you know, nature is perfectly imperfect, which includes skies. So I'm going to do this about 10 times here. And then I actually want to go back up this way because as you see here, it needs a little bit more smoothness. Go up a little bit. And come down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now moving up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now moving up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there you have it. You have a gradation, a gradient. They also call it an ombre effect, from dark to light. That's part one. That part was pretty quick. And now I'm gonna let this dry and come back to this project later. All right, welcome back. Now that time has passed and your painting has dried, turn it over so that the yellow part is on the bottom and the darker part on top, because if you've ever seen a sunset, that's how it usually works. All right, so here we go. It's time to make some palm trees. I'm going to mix this phthalo blue with my quinacridone, let's try saying that 10 times, magenta. And I'm gonna get a dark color by putting those two together. So these two colors are gonna make a violet, a dark violet. If I were to add white, it would be lighter. Now, last time we used a flat, large brush like that. Now, today we're gonna be using a round, smaller brush. And I have a few others too, just in case. I'm gonna mix those two together. It's gonna make a purple so dark. I'm not gonna use black. I'm actually going to practice first on this paper how to make palm trees. Well, after you put the ground in there, or a little hill, a little island, I'm going to draw a curve. See, I didn't press so far down on here that it made a thick line like this. I used more of the tip of the brush, or actually I press a little bit more like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna make some curves here. I'm actually gonna start with two like this. It looks like when people draw birds from a distance, it looks like that. I'm gonna draw another one here, another there, maybe 5 of them. Maybe I'll add one more here. All right, now it looks like a spider. Although spiders have more legs, they're arachnids, and they have 8. So I'm gonna use maybe a smaller brush now, and I'm gonna make some of the lines of the fronds. Yes, that's the name of palm trees, in the section of the palm trees. And I'm gonna make this part thicker. And these are hanging down because of gravity. And so that's a quick way of doing palm trees. And look, make them imperfect. See how these got clumped up? That's what happens with palm trees. They get blown in the wind all the time, and they still stand up. Palm trees are very strong. And because they're able to bend, they're able to keep upright in very windy conditions. Here we go. I'm gonna go back to the larger brush and get more paint, because I'm gonna do a couple of islands here, or a couple of hills for the islands. This is just the basic version of this. You can add other things to it later on. Okay, so there you have it. Now I'm gonna draw some palm trees. Some will be tall, some will be shorter. This is my large one. You see why you have to practice? Because there's no erasing on here. I just went for it. If you need to get more paint, then do that. Here's two side by side. This one's gonna come up this way. let me put in that bird-like shape that I did before. See that? It's imperfect. I could fix it, I could leave it. Actually, I'm going to use a smaller brush for the smaller ones. So, looks like the winds are blowing this way. Here's a smaller one. Is it a baby? Nah, it's in the background. These are in the foreground, I guess. Okay, so let me put in those details now. We get some paint, and I'm going to make these little lines come down, facing downward. Imperfect. And I have a chance now to make these longer if I like. These fronds. For people who know, who live with palm trees, these fronds eventually dry out and they fall during windy days. You don't want to be underneath them because they're heavy and scratchy. So you see, I'm using just the tip of my brush to do these details when you get to the smaller ones. See that? Perfectly imperfect. So most of the time they're facing downwards, sometimes they're not because it's windy. Use the tip of the brush, small tip. You could use a smaller brush. Well, that's it. Looks like I'm done. Now, if you like, you could add the very top of the sun right there, peeking out from behind that hill. And you could add other silhouetted shapes. Maybe like a little house or an animal. It's up to you. I think by now you'll be able to figure it out. You've got this. All right, it's your turn. I've got 2 words for you. Get cracking.